Just a little bit about the placemaking. I mean, at the very start of the scheme in 2001, the local authority had undertaken a study of the area and an analysis of the area in terms of housing need and demand. What we couldn't do was enter into a project of this scale without the certainty that people wanted to come back and live there in the longer term. And the results were interesting because something like 50% of the residents who were still living on the estate had actually lived there for more than 10 years and had a strong sense of community. Despite all the difficulties that they were facing, still wanted to continue living there because it was their home and had been their home for a long, long time. So there was a core within the local community of people who were resolutely fighting the corner and wanting to come back to live on the estate in the longer term. They weren't prepared to give it up. And we were able very quickly to harness the energies of those people to help us deliver the scheme. It's interesting because that sort of schematic shows a bit about the estate. Built in the 20s, homes built for those returning from the First World War, scheme that at that time was probably seen as a really good place to live. You can see just in some of the areas there, the infill green areas, which were huge allotment areas, which in the 20s and 30s and 40s were probably used very well. What they very quickly became were drink runs, drug runs, places where people could do dope, and became very problematic for the residents who wanted to live a normal life on that estate. What we did was very quickly, as I say, harness those energies and work with the residents to create a community-based vision, a comprehensive vision for what they wanted to do on the estate in the longer term. Engaged with our architects, HLP, Hassel-Lloyd Partnership, who've done a lot of similar types of scheme in the past, and through the master planning process and involvement that we've talked about already in terms of using residents to help design the scheme and the children to help design the scheme, we moved forward to create a design code and a design guide that helped us to lead the physical and social revival of the estate. I have to say that in the early days it was difficult to convince people that this was the right thing to be doing, and we'll talk a little bit about how we worked hard to engage with residents on the estate in the workshop this afternoon.